Oh yeah.
Leah's ready tonight.
What? No, I ain't capping tonight. I'm just bullshit.
We gotta have fun, y'all. I know this is
No, we do be having fun. We do be having fun. Like
we live.
I think we are live, yeah.
Are we live? Oh.
Let me cut one of them down.
I ain't get it yet.
Turn your glasses on.
Put your hat on, motherfucker.
Okay, y'all. Okay, let me call. Getting the feedback.
Say something went wrong. This may be due to technical error.
We live.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
We early, y'all. We got a minute to talk about nothing. This is the first time we ever been early.
we making progress as Black people.
Yes, sir.
What up, Will?
Hey, Billy.
Yeah, Billy. Why I keep calling?
Cause the name.
His real name William though.
Yeah, but we call him Billy. My bad, Billy.
So y'all, we back at it again. It's the crew. We got Ebony D, we got me, Ebony J, we got Kenny, we got Wes, we got Les, and we got Miss Coach Tania. Mrs. Coach Tania, excuse me.
Don't do it.
Now tonight, so tonight we are.
You get bit by something?
Y'all play too much. So
what up, everybody?
What up, y'all? We starting early. We're gonna get the fun stuff out first. But tonight we talking mental health, trauma as the new norm for us Black folks. How it's affected our community, how it hasn't really got better during this pandemic. You think we would kind of come together more, but it seems even worse than before. But we're gonna get into all that. But first we want to dig into our current events. We got Miss Gorilla Glue Girl. She back at it. So Wes, what you had on Miss Gorilla Glue chick?
Oh, I mean, I guess she was trying to get an upgrade to her body, try to get like some boob job done. Then they did the same doctor who did proceeding on her hair, found some lumps on her chest, and that was that. So they caught it early, so if they can do something to it, that'd be good. But that's the story on that. She might get I think she might get a
boob job?
Yeah, but that was boob job.
She was getting them put in, or she was just getting them taken away?
Put in.
Implants.
She probably was getting a consultation and they found the lump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
well, we hope she okay, but sis, don't be using all that money to get that body banging. Donate it to something else now. You said huh?
Did she donate the money?
Breaking up.
I don't know if she donated it. It's a whole bunch of stories.
She was donating it to the surgeon who got the stuff on her hair.
Damn.
Because he said he did it for free, but you donating to him, but you getting your boobs done.
Oh.
But I had seen that they wasn't trying to give her the GoFundMe money because they said that the GoFundMe wasn't being put to great use. So it was mostly Black people reporting her that they felt like she shouldn't have the money, but you know how that goes.
Well, I agree. I mean, once you give it away, it ain't yours no more to say what she do with it. Hopefully she put it to good use, but people gave it from their heart. That's on her. Hey, y'all.
So stuff on fire and burned 30% of my body, and that's our GoFundMe page. I feel sorry for me.
If you what?
Huh?
If you did what?
Set myself on fire.
Why would you set yourself on fire?
This is why she put grip on her hair. This is the point.
You had a reason she did so her hair can lay down.
Huh?
Man,
she had a reason she did so she could have her hair laid down.
She could have got some Crisco.
And San Jose so far is super too. It's
go.
really cool.
And where was you going that you had to have your hair slicked in a ponytail that bad? That's
Right.
what
That serious.
I think she really did it for the. I feel like she did it for the clout. People say no, she just that. I just can't believe you just that. I don't want to use the word dumb. I mean, just that irresponsible.
It was pretty dumb.
Hey, Kenny Gregg said if you
Water. I mean, Gluto. I said water.
Or water.
Billy said like Richard Pryor. West.
Yeah.
He was high.
Yeah, he was high.
he was trying to light a crack pipe, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Richard.
Rest in peace, dog. Rest in peace.
That nigga's terrible.
Whole time.
The whole people.
And she got into a release Ray. I didn't see that, but I believe it's
Either.
on the show called The Talk or The View or something with that one chick. I'm gonna have to go check it out. Lisa Ray stay getting into it with somebody though. I like her. So then,
you're a little tough little cookie, man.
not a tough cookie. So next we got what they give we give Meek Mill's Donkey of the Day.
What he do?
Nah, we can't use Donkey of the Day.
We give him Llama of the Day.
He get a bunch of L. That was disrespectful.
Yeah, take that.
I wouldn't even know all that anyway.
So I guess he made a song and he had something about Kobe and the unfortunate death of him, something about a helicopter. It was something that was distasteful, and I hear that the wife spoke out about it. It was just in poor taste, in my opinion.
I do? Okay.
I didn't hear it. I ain't hear about it.
I mean,
Either.
he was a feature on it, but it wasn't all that, man.
The bar was trash.
Yeah. It was, what'd he say? I got the chopper on, but for the way I'm gonna go out like Kobe, the chopper. It was something like that. It was stupid.
Boo.
He checked him like, I don't know who you is for real though, but that was disrespectful. So she hold that nigga while she was talking about that shit.
Yeah, it was distasteful.
But I mean, it's a million of them bars that people that made. It ain't
About
Kobe?
No, not about Kobe, just about people that passed or tragedies, and you know.
But it's still kind of too early though.
Definitely early. We need like at least another 5 years for that to be, cool.
I mean, he didn't even release the song. That was somebody leaked it. That song probably wasn't gonna come out anyway after whoever heard it.
Man, look, the bar was trash, but at the same time, Kobe wife was like, I never really heard her music. That got her hurt.
No,
Yeah.
she didn't.
How? Why they got her hurt?
They got hurt Meek Mill.
How? Because everybody ain't heard Meek Mill music.
Why not?
I
He's
mean,
supposed to be a big thing. Why should you never?
Yeah.
yeah, he's
A
supposed
lot
to
of
be.
There's a lot of people that ain't heard a lot of people. I don't think he was bothered by her saying she never heard his music.
Me personally, I'd be bothered like, damn, she don't know who I am.
Man, she don't know who I am.
It's a whole lot of
fact
people
that I was
that don't know
talking
who he is.
I'd be hurt.
Everybody be hurt. I'd be hurt. Like, the bar was trash, one. You talking about Kobe. Then his wife, like, she don't, it's been a lot of people coming for Kobe lately because actress Evan Rachel was talking about, well, Kobe raped women and stuff. No, he went to trial for a false accuser who he settled with. Like, if you really want to put your rapist in jail, you wouldn't take no money. My thing is, you will be looking to get him locked up for a certain amount of time. But she took the money.
Now you want to say something about it.
Now Meek want to say something like, man, fuck you, Meek. He's subpar anyway. Hey, I'm going to be honest, Meek ain't even in my top 30 of all time.
Trey said she only heard of him when he got with Nicki. That's true too, though.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, he was out. I remember.
When he had came out.
Hey, what up, though? Dwayne from Oklahoma.
Checking in from Oklahoma. Is it warm there, Dwayne?
I grew up. He was my next door neighbor over there on 3rd and Philly.
Okay, that's what's up.
I think he hosts a radio show in Oklahoma.
Ooh, you should invite
Put your
us
credentials down there, Dwayne. Yeah, put your Dwayne, post your credentials.
We need to go to Oklahoma, y'all, so we can go talk on his show. You see, I just plugged myself on your show, Dwayne.
What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Share the post.
What up? Any more current events? I don't have nothing. We're still waiting on our stimulus check.
Okay.
The girls ain't getting $15 an hour.
Passed.
You said what?
I just got confirmation been passed.
Nigga.
I do got a current event. So next weekend is the NBA All-Star game in Atlanta. And, a couple of weeks ago, the mayor, Keisha Bottoms, was like, yeah, I don't want a lot of people to come flood my city and having parties and stuff. Well, the fans can't go to the game this year due to COVID, but all I'm seeing on social media is party promotions.
The fans go to the game anyway a lot of times. When they go to All-Star Weekend, they just go to the parties.
Yeah, so Detroit will definitely be in Atlanta for the All-Star Weekend.
Right.
Not only is Atlanta a hot spot for the clubs and stuff, but it's going to be this super spreader potential there and all that other stuff. So, Keisha Bottoms, you got a lot on your hand next weekend. And all I can tell people who going down there, wear your mask. Because when I went down there, they was maskless at Lenox Mall, at the restaurants, all that stuff. So then the NBA players didn't even want an All-Star game this year. So
yeah, LeBron don't even. Hey, I got nothing. Y'all heard about the Les and Kenny, this for y'all. Any of y'all been doing that gambling online thing? FanDuel?
Nah, I ain't been doing it, but I seen somebody, I think my man bet $50 and won like a couple $100,000 or something crazy like that on a crazy little 5-game parlay. Wow. That shit, but the only thing I think about that is good, but I mean, it can be dangerous. People get hooked on that, start losing their rent money, start losing bill money. So it's like one of them kind of things like this, because they're gonna make a lot of money for the industry, but just like gambling, period, man. People get hooked on that, and next thing you know, they putting their whole check on there and blowing it. So I mean, salute to the people who winning, and just do it in moderation, man. Don't gamble more than you can't afford to lose.
Moderation for me, Kenny, is about $10. That's all you probably get from me.
I'm not over drinks.
I haven't played it yet because I haven't played it yet. But I used to play FanDuel when it first came out. But now that they got like open gambling in Michigan, so one time I went to the casino and betted on some NFL games like a parlay, and it was like 5 games. I put $10 down. If I would have won, I would have won like. If I would have won all the games on the parlay, I would have won like $900. So $10, that would have got me $900. And I think the Lions blew it for me. So I had
about right.
Yeah, so the Lions, I think they was playing the Vikings or somebody, and I needed the Lions to win that day because all my other teams won, and I could have won $900. Ever since then, I ain't betted since. And moving forward, as a Detroit resident, don't bet with the Lions. That's a sticky situation. It's tricky. It can be 50-50. You can win money or you can lose bet with them Lions.
Who they was playing?
I think they were playing the Vikings, West. They had lost that day because they was the early game, and like it's just so crazy. The other 3 games that I betted on, they all had won. I betted on all 1 o'clock games, and the Lions had to win for me to get to 900. I didn't get it.
Well, go Lions.
I just want to. I got one more thing to say before we get started. I just want to say, rest in peace to Juan. He was my sister's boyfriend, and like he just had like he would have been brother-in-law potential, and he was so young at 26 and killed him, and it's been kind of rough for my sister. Been rough on all of us. We really like Juan, we love Juan, and I just want people to pray for the family, and rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Juan.
Rest in peace. I'll be praying.
Keep her in our prayers, y'all.
Oh, one more thing before you get started, Jones. Just came across the news. I don't know how many of y'all shop at Whole Foods, but they just had an outbreak at the one on Mack and 75 area over there, Mack and Woodward.
I saw that.
They had an outbreak, so they shutting it down. So y'all been shopping there lately. Won't get to get a little check.
I shop at Meijer, but Whole Foods kind of high.
Oh, yeah.
Whole Foods kind of high, but they got good stuff there though.
Whole Foods is high. It's not kinda. They
Where I
expensive.
get my broccolini from.
They had the hepatitis outbreak, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah. So, and I think like 30 employees like infected right now, Kenny, right? Like 30 employees. They shut it down. I didn't know they shut it down.
They don't wash their hands.
Yep, it's 30 employees.
They had 30 employees, so.
They don't wash their hands. You gotta wash your hands and keep your mask on. They think because they're together, they say you don't know where people going. So just wear y'all masks. God damn, like we want this over with. Wear your mask and wash your hands. Flat, period.
Wash
And
your ass.
that part too. Take them clothes off. You can't sleep in them once you've been out all day. Take them nasty, infested clothes off that you didn't ran around 24 hours in. Now you going to bed.
Ready, roll.
Right. And also, I actually finally listened to the Jay-Z and Nipsey song.
Ooh, fire.
It's a banger, y'all.
You late.
I am late, but I listened to it, and yeah,
It's coming from a Nas fan, but carry on.
I am a Nas fan. I do love Nas.
I'm a Nas fan too.
I'm a Nas fan.
I'm a Nas fan too, but they a Nas fan for a certain reason. But we can carry on.
It's not just because he fine.
Yeah.
You don't qualify, Ebony. Neither one of y'all.
Oh my God.
No, we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there. Go ahead.
Don't go there anyway.
But you ain't lying though. But go ahead, let's go.
Wes, not too much.
Hey, that was real slick, Wes.
Right.
I know, right?
Before we get started, everybody just share the post today. We talking about some real shit today. So I was about to get into it.
So now that we got the current events out the way, let's roll into this topic. Black mental health, trauma as the new norm. This topic is a topic that I think all of us have discussed and just dealt with in our day-to-day life so much. I mean, the title kind of explains itself. Like, we just too okay walking around like ain't nothing wrong when we carrying a lot, we living with a lot, and we just make it the norm instead of just going to see somebody about it. So anyway, we're gonna get into it, speak from our own perspectives, some stuff that we see in the communities that we see as trauma, just a bunch of stuff. So like they said, share the live and let's get into it, y'all. I mean, let's roll. I don't know. Y'all want me to kick it off? Y'all know I'm long-winded.
That's cool.
Oh, get it. But go ahead. My bad. I thought it was for me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm long-winded. Hey, I'm long-winded too, Joe. I got something to say today, but you go ahead and kick it off.
So for me, the trauma as a new norm, like I said, it kind of explains itself. Is like, me, myself, I'm sure a lot of us on here, we just carry so much. And we come from the Black community where it said, keep it quiet, push on, be strong, pray about it, and just keep moving. We don't recognize it as trauma. I think us being millennials and the group after us, we kind of more in tune to what, our mental health and what that trauma look like. We kind of speak about it more, opposed to like the older communities where, like I said, you just got to be strong and keep quiet about it. Like, anxiety is a word that we use as millennials. They used that back in the day, but it was very prevalent then. Anxiety and depression, I would say 90% of the Black community suffers from one, the other, or both. They won't come out and say it, but it's absolutely true. For me, like the trauma of the strong Black woman, being too strong to me is a trauma response. Nobody should have to carry a burden like that, but we just walk around like it's okay. So it's just a whole bunch. Single parent households, again, you don't need no man to raise no kids. Kids having kids being disrespectful, mama running men through the house. All of that to me is trauma, but we don't look at it like that. It's like we are comfortable in struggling. And to me, that's trauma, because you should want the best out of life, but we think struggling and keeping it real is a norm. So yeah, that's just a piece of it. But I mean, look at our communities. It's trauma running all through there. Like, Detroit bad with road rage, the crime in Detroit right now. It's just, it all ties back to the mental health, because if you ain't mad about nothing, you ain't really want to hurt nobody. A lot of our black men are angry, and a lot of the little black girls are just lost because ain't no daddy in the household. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole bunch. So that's my piece on it as of now, because I can go on forever. It's just, I see more trauma than healthy lifestyles on a daily. So yeah. Hey,
Marv. Black woman with the friend.
What up, Marv? What up, everybody? So I did the liberty of doing like research. So I'm gonna go post-slavery. So I'm gonna go back like 100 and some years to why black people decide being in denial of their mental health. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about what contributed to our black mental health. And this is after slavery. So after slavery, we had the era of the Jim Crow era. After that, there was the civil rights movement, where we had, leaders like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X get killed. So every time one of our leaders, we had leaders that had a voice about us and how we should be treated and stuff, the government found a way to get rid of them. So after that, we had the Black Panthers. And like I said, for those of you who've seen the movie, the Black Panther movie this past couple of weeks, we was introduced to the Black Panthers in elementary and middle school. And, it talked about how Fred Hampton was killed by, Chicago police and FBI. So once again, they killed one of our leaders. So with that being said, the media will show that, look, you have black people fight for our rights, but they'll show you also that, look, we can't have that. We can't have smart 19, 20-year-olds being leaders of the black community. You know what I'm saying? So take it back one quick step to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They was a little older, but Fred Hampton, Huey P. Newton, these dudes like college students, 19, 20, 21 years old. But the community followed them. They did so much for the community. So seeing those guys get killed, we was had a void of leadership amongst black people. After that, look at some communities like, say for instance, LA, they had, the gangs were like a organization where, like the Bloods and Crips, at first they started off as like gangs that helped communities try to be the voice of the people. Gangs, like the beginning of gangs started with black men protecting their neighborhoods from white guys who wanted to come burn it down. So those type of gangs evaporated over to the daily gangs, where we started killing each other because we didn't have real leadership, and we didn't have the opportunities and stuff. So where gangs in the 70s and 80s came, to me, probably the second worst thing that happened to black people besides slavery was the crack epidemic. Mm-hmm. And the crack epidemic like wiped out a whole generation, and it just like really fucked us over because we still feeling the effects of it today. Because after slavery, we started getting the laws and stuff passed. We started coming together more. We started banding together more. But they couldn't have that. It's always like a conspiracy to hurt the black family. So when they drop drugs, drop drugs in the big cities in our neighborhoods, it was like, because heroin was already out. That was a white people's drug. It was expensive to get. But when they dropped crack, that rock in our neighborhoods, it became so fucked up because it really damaged a lot of people, from the man of the house who probably lost his job, he turned to crack. Then the women who turned to crack, who was selling their bodies and stuff, they was trying to sell their kids just to get crack for $5, $10. So the crack epidemic really destroyed our neighborhoods. Then after that, we, during the crack epidemic, we had the homeless, the poverty, the broken homes based off the laws and stuff they passed to try to get rid of crack. Even though they put crack in our systems, we was selling crack, but then we gonna lock you up for the shit we put in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, like a lot of factories, like in Detroit, you know, Chrysler started, and GM started laying off in the 70s and 80s. So the main, for some people, their main income was to sell crack. You sold it to your own people. You know what I'm saying? And you know, people will say, you know, right from wrong, you know, doing crack ain't, you know, it's not the best thing, or selling crack is the best thing. But when these opportunities have been taken from us to work at factories, or to have the education to compete with the whites and other people in this country, and we can't do that, we have to turn to somewhere to make money. Going into after the crack, you had crack babies. So a lot of crack babies can't function. Then you put them in schools where the education system for Black people was fucked up, because we sit in the classroom, there's 50 people in the classroom with 25 books. So we sharing books, so we really can't concentrate. And you got the kids who coming from a broken home with no heat, no water, they mama and them on crack, or they drunks and stuff like that. So you can't even function in class, because one, you probably cold as hell in the wintertime, and you ain't eating shit. You only eat when you go to school. On top of what's going on in the home, the mama probably getting the beat, your sister probably getting the beat, your sister probably messing with the drugs in the neighborhood, and he don't got her pregnant, stuff like that. And it always happens to the poor big cities, where majority of those big cities is the population is Black people. You know what I'm saying? So for a lot of years, there was really no opportunities for Blacks and just people rights and stuff like that. But our biggest mentality for me was racism. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the biggest thing to happen, because as long as it's racism and a system that's not made for us, it's gonna hurt our mental, because we gotta work twice as hard to get something. We gotta be this, we gotta be that. We can't be like everybody else. We can't make mistakes. A white dude can make a mistake and shoot somebody. Oh, his mental is fucked up. But let a Black person or a Mexican shoot somebody. Oh, they thugs. So we are, you know, coming out the womb, we are labeled already. I was a nigga before I was even born. You know what I'm saying? I was a thug. I was a criminal. Shit, I'm a prison number before I'm even born. So, and then now we can go through the coronavirus, where you have Black people scared to get the vaccine because of what the government has done to us over the years. So that's a mental health issue right there. And then to finish it off, we went through like 2020, where we seen a lot of, and it always happened, but now we seeing a lot of Black people get killed live on TV, live on social media. So with the George Floyd thing, it just shows you that the police can kill you in front of millions of people and you look dead in the camera and say, this can be you. So it fucks with our mental, because like, I ain't gonna lie, I get anxiety sometimes. You know, I get anxiety because on one side, you got a government that's, you know, always been against Black people, and, you know, they never had our best interests. Then on the other side, you got the people that look like you, that want to take something from you or do some shit to you. So what I'm saying is, over the past 150 years, we 37, 36 years old. So if our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents went through that shit, they suffer from a lot of mental health. And it's trickling on down to us, because after seeing all that over the past 100 years, it has in my mind, like, what can I do to live a decent life without feeling like, you know, without looking over my shoulder and shit on one side, even on both sides. So that's kind of like my breakdown of Black mental health, but there's so much involved into it, because your brain can only hold so much, but then you start getting into like relationships with people and stuff like that. So it's a lot to talk about with Black mental health. Like, it's a lot that people have to build on. And I'm gonna turn it over to somebody else, because it get kind of touchy when I get to talking about this.
So before we give it to somebody else, I don't know, and I get a lot of, what's the word, flack, or, you know, you can't think like that from this. So here's my thing, like, yeah, we've had it bad, and we know the game we have to play just because we Black, right? But we know this game. Here's where I get, you know, yeah, we went through slavery and our parents suffered from it and all of that, but you still have a choice to at some point put a stop to it. Like, even if you come from the worst of positions, At what point do you give up hope to be better? Like, that's my issue with us. I can never concern myself about what somebody else can do for me or give me. Like, we still looking for the 30 acres and a mule and for them to treat us equally. Yeah, we'll get that, but we have to do that through what we're showing them. Like, I don't know, I hate to get on my soapbox about it, but we got to do better internally to get that respect outwardly. They not just gonna give it to us, and we already see that. They again, like you said, we came with a prison number on us. So if I know this is already stacked against me, I'm not gonna give you more ammunition to treat me like trash.
But Jones, you know why we are the bigger problem, because we do got to work with each other. But a lot of us already made it the point where they can be brought. They can be like money can buy certain people and have them feeling a certain way. So, like, what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people will give up their respect just for money, which why we can't work together, because we are trying to fight a cause to where we want to be respected. But a lot of people, like, if you throw me a couple of dollars, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do with me. That's how a lot of people think. I don't think like that, but that's just my opinion on something like that. Like, we can't come together because we want to be better than the next person. It's like it's the crab in the barrel mentality. We can't be one because we are. It's just a sad world we live in, because a lot of people will sell their souls just to get a little something and still want to be considered, part of the Black community. You have people stepping over each other all the time just to get that, the word can't even come to me, just to get that approval from white. Even though, you know what I'm saying? Like, when people
said
like,
that we want white validation. She said that in the comment.
Yeah, a lot of people want white validation.
What say you, Dawson?
Come back to me. Go ahead, Kenny.
Wes, before we get into the back and forth, I just want to get everybody initial statement or opinion of stance. Wes, you on mute. Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I said, come back to me right quick.
Go ahead,
all right,
Kenny.
so I am. So when we think about overall mental health and trauma in the Black community, I think automatically we have to understand and accept that being an African American, you're born into trauma automatically. I don't care if you was born into a rich family, a poor family, born in the White House, wherever you at, automatically being born black, you automatically born in a world with trauma, automatically, from ancestral history, of course. But as Les alluded to, and Jones as well, and I disagree and agree with some of what they were saying, because when she say, at some point you got to take it upon yourself to make your situation better. And we all do that, but that don't erase the trauma. That don't erase the stigmas that's already placed upon us. That don't erase how people view us, because you can go to school, get a degree, get 10 degrees, be a doctor. We just saw with the president. You can become the president, but you still gonna be looked at as a nigga or as a black. It's automatically gonna be stereotypes put against you, regardless of how far you achieve education or career-wise. So I think in our community, it's always been frowned upon, I guess we could say, as far as getting therapy. But a lot of us don't even want to admit that we need it. And being born in trauma, every Black person needs therapy, whether you think you do or not, whether you say, I'm fine, I'm well, I'm good, everything is good for me in my life. Well, if you think everything's fine, well, and good, then you definitely probably need it more than everybody else, because being Black, automatically, everything can't be fine. It's been too much done throughout history for you to be fine and okay. That just means you're ignoring, the reality of what happened to your people, your parents, your grandparents, and who the world look at you as. Not your community or your friends or family. The world look at you still as being a Black person. Even if after you become educated and everything, you still go be a Black person. They still look at you lesser, regardless. And so just identifying in ourselves that we have to be open to therapy, have to be open to some counseling, not just saying we need to be open to it, but actually be open. Because I heard plenty of people say, I went to it, it didn't work. And so my response to that is, if you're not open, if you're not really giving something or really opening yourself allowing yourself to be healed or to be counseled, then it's really not going to serve your purpose. So I think it's been so long that our communities has frowned and shunned upon counseling and therapy that we don't even know how to receive it now. So I'll stop right there because I don't want to go forever, but I'll just let somebody chime in.
Yeah, definitely. And like somebody said, Yvette said, we can't look at therapy as that's meaning you crazy. Like when I start speaking about my anxiety, you know, first thing people gonna think is like, you know, what's wrong with her? Like you have to understand anxiety. You may not put a name to it, but some of the things that you do, you definitely suffer from it. If you overly anxious, if you kind of hard on yourself, that's an anxiety. But the older people is either you normal or you crazy. It's like it's no in between with them. So we just got to start putting the name to the things we struggle with too, like depression. Anxiety, depression is really big in the Black community. And like I said, it's more of us that deal with it than don't, but you know, they just never sought help for it. And then it just continues to trickle down through generations and we continue to see the same thing. Like, and again, I understand the strife that we had, you know, being born behind the curve. But at some point, how long are you going to ride on that? Like, okay, that happened. Now what?
And see, and when you say that, Ebony, and then my rebuttal always says you can't never tell a person how long it takes for them to heal or how long it takes for them to get over something. For you, you probably able to accept it and move on and be better than put that behind, but everybody don't move at that pace. It may take somebody to say 50, 60 to finally be okay, like, okay, now I can finally move on.
Yes, but at the point that it continues, at the point it continues to affect your life and your kids' life and your grandkids' life, you at some point have to make a conscious decision that I'm not going to let this ride for another 50 years. Okay, slavery was 300 years ago and it's been bad. That's just the game we playing is what I'm saying. I can't tell you when to heal. You should want to recognize that for yourself when it's tearing up through generations.
Well, see, that's
my point with it.
You have a lot of people are in denial or they're not willing to accept it, especially in the Black community. So like King said, everybody handles things differently. I do understand where Ebony coming from. How long are we going to sit back and just be like, I understand what you're saying, but
woe is me.
Woe is me, man. Like that ain't gonna heal nothing you doing. That woe is me is just gonna continue to run down your bloodline.
Yeah, because I just think it's a mindset. Because like if nobody in your family got therapy or got help, you don't know that you need to go get help. But at some point in time, you got to say to yourself, I need some type of help. Somebody has to help me. I need to get away or something. Like something has to change. I just wanted to give a working definition on what trauma is. And trauma is an emotional response to a terrible event like an accident, rape, or natural disaster. Immediately after the event, shock and denial typically happens. Longer-term reactions include unpredictable emotions, flashbacks, in which when you have flashback, it always keeps you in the mind of that thing that happened to you. So it's like a reoccurring event that always is a continuously reminder. And that's what we need to go talk to therapists about so they can bring us out of that event and teach us how to move on. It causes strains in relationships and it gives you physical symptoms like headaches, nausea, high blood pressure, diabetes, all that. It said, while these feelings are normal, some people have difficulty moving on with their lives. And it says psychologists can help with these individuals. They have to find constructive ways of managing their emotions. And I believe everything is based off of people's emotions, and you have to learn how to deal with your negative emotions. You know, you have to learn how to reel them back in. You have to learn what to do with your displaced emotions. You have to, like, sometimes I would even say write things down as you're going through different things. That way you can know, you can pull it when you're writing and you're just writing, you can pull it out of yourself exactly what you're facing and what you're dealing with. That way you would know exactly what it is you need help with. Like sometimes there is nobody we can go talk to, and sometimes the pen and paper is the best solution at that time. And you can get a lot of stress out by doing it that way.
It's a coping mechanism, but yeah, it's almost damn near like a form of PTSD.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many triggers that can bring on those emotions. You definitely got to have a coping mechanism, some way that you can kind of get that intact. And like for me, even when I deal with things like Tania just said, I write. Writing helps a lot. At 36 years old, I still have a journal.
Because sometimes you just need to get it out. Secrets keep you sick.
Right.
I hear a lot of people say secrets keep you sick because it's always going to be something that triggers that, you know what I'm saying? Car accident, relationship, rape, alcoholic parents, drug, anything you missing or dealt with is just going to always come up. Like, and I don't think it goes away. You just learn how to manage it.
Correct.
So.
Go ahead, Wes.
Well, I'm going to just go personal right quick. Like, shit, when my pops passed away in 2013, I was depressed, but like I kind of shut down and everything, but I don't know. So, but go back. Go ahead, Liz. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was like, me and Wes was in communication around that time, so I understand like you can't really speak to it because like again, I'm not a black man, so I don't know, but I just know I've dated black men. Of course, my dad is one, so you kind of see how they handle and don't handle things. Like they don't speak of it, so I just want us to start being okay with putting a name to something. You know what I'm saying? Like it hurts me, so I'm gonna talk about it.
Sometimes you got to give a voice to that pain, even if like you just talking about it now and getting it out. You gotta let it out.
You instantly feel relief when you do it too.
Because if you don't deal with those constant triggers, every little thing is gonna trigger you. So you gotta let it out some kind of way.
I think being a black man, we need therapy the most, just based off what we were told as a kid. Like over the years, you don't supposed to complain, you don't supposed to do this, you don't supposed to do that. But like over the years, I used to hold a lot of stuff in. The reason why some people don't open up because like people like to tell your business. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't that we don't want people to know, but if I trust you with a certain amount of information I'm giving you, and you just telling everybody, then he's something wrong with me, he fucked up. It don't bother me much now because I know who to talk to. You know what I'm saying? I talk to my wife a lot about just life, period, but I remember a couple years ago, I thought about having a social club for like black men to talk about, issues, because most of the time, the only person that understands what a black man go through is other black men. You know what I'm saying? And a couple of guys I inquired with, they was like, man, it got to be a real trust issue, a real trust for me to open up to like, guys that I really don't know. And that's the thing, man. We have to start just talking about, life. And I realize like a lot of people, black people, we love to like party and hang out and stuff like that. And I think that takes away from what we really be going through. The drinking, the smoking weed and stuff like that. Like it helps because a lot of people don't open up about stuff. Like a lot of people have like a lot of things that they went through as kids. Like my childhood wasn't, severe like most people was. Like I said, we grew up with people who parents was on drugs, who parents was drunks, or who parents couldn't keep a job. They was always house to house and stuff. So that created a snowball effect of trauma. And as they got older, some people got through it, and there was some people who couldn't get through because all the shit that had built up. We got to start just like talking. And one thing we got to do with too is, talk. I don't have kids, but people need to talk to their kids about these things that you have been through in life, because a lot of people are afraid to like let people know how they grew up and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up poor. Most of us grew up poor. We grew up A lot of us grew up more poor than others and stuff like that. A lot of us went through shit. You gotta pass that on to your kids. You gotta stop teaching them the wrong stuff too, because your kids inherit some of the trauma that you went through. You know what I'm saying? Like if you sit around crying all day and ain't talk to your kids about what you went through, they probably don't understand, but your kids should be your comfort. You know what I'm saying? And like, we got to get to the point where it's okay to talk about these things, and therapy is a big deal. And for those of you who have jobs and who have like health insurance and stuff like that, I know my company I work for, they offer therapists, like they offer you 30-minute, sessions like 2 or 3 times a week. And that can really help, because you could be on the phone with somebody that you ain't even looking face to face to, but to like all my friends and family, like we got to start talking to one another about, a lot of the stuff that we go through. And like healing, if you ain't healing, you in a position to hurt others, because a person who can't heal themselves can't help nobody. Like even when in bad relationships, or the single mother who still have that hold on from when the daddy left, stuff like that. Like that's just the trauma you go through, and it's like that's part of trauma in relationships that a lot of people ain't willing to deal with, because you haven't dealt with your past and try to heal. So, like I said, there's so much stuff to go.
And we also
that goes into this.
And we also need to understand, when you open it up and talking about it, it's not, people look at it as a sign of being weak. It's not. It's okay to talk to somebody. You're not weak because you're going through something. It's life. We're all dealing with something. And we need to just put that out there. Open it up to somebody, a therapist, a friend, or whoever. It's not a sign of weakness.
Cause you can't dodge it. You know what I'm saying? Like struggling with your mental health is something you just cannot dodge as an adult.
I think it's that we got to be strong mentality. We can do it on our own. We can figure it out.
That's the trauma response.
Exactly.
So that's strong.
So Sammy said, you got to just not care what people think of you. Most men, the most secretively about other people's view of their strength, which is true. And everything we saying is accurate as far as we need this, we need that. But our community is the biggest ones that are biggest criticizers. It's not the white community looking at us saying, see us weak if we get therapy. It's our friends and family and cousins and people we went to high school with, oh, they in therapy, or they need somebody to talk to. We look at our own people and frown down on them. It's not even the ones that's don't look like us. It's our own people that gave us that negative stigma that therapy, or is as a man, it's hard to say I'm not okay because you're supposed to be strong, the leader, nothing supposed to bother you. So now if I come out and say something bothered me, or I feel sad, or now everybody looking at me like, you know what I'm saying? I'm scared to say I'm sad. I'm scared to say I need help, because I'm scared my own people go look at me and point their finger or look down on me like, oh, he weak, or oh, he this, or oh, he that. It's not the white people that's gonna look at me like that, because they do it faithfully. They go, every white family got a therapist they go to. It's our own people that's frowning out on us.
That negative stereotype.
It's true.
It's a negative stereotype.
You have to try to stereotype.
Yeah.
Like I think that's why we here today, because we need to erase that stereotype. Because if you look at everybody on the panel, for the most part, you would say, hey, they all got it together. They skin clear, they got edges, they got jobs.
Everybody ain't got edges.
Well, they working, they got homes. They would look at us as like, y'all made it, and we made it, and it was definitely by a choice, because what we was taught, we wouldn't have made it by that, because we just would have been holding on to pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is definitely something new with us, because where we learn that keep quiet is from those baby boomers who raised us. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no fault of their own, because that's what they learned. But I think we definitely the generation that has made it okay to talk about it.
Yeah, my heart just hurt for like the mothers that always tell their little boys, like, boys don't cry. Like, I think that's where a lot of that stem from too. And it's kind of sad, because that's how they learn to hold all their emotions in, and they just never open up, because they've been told for so long to be quiet, don't cry, don't let tears fall from your eyes. Like,
And I can't even lie. I'm raising a young man, and I was guilty of that at one time. Like, you don't supposed to be crying. Boys don't cry. But I had to like one day just sit. Like, that's damaging to him. So now when I'm talking to him and he don't want to say nothing to me because he don't want to open up because he feel like he don't get emotional and it's gonna come out. I created that.
Right.
Unfortunately, the way the world go view you, if they see you crying, is they gonna look at you and say, "Oh, he weak." Right. Our community specifically, like, so I understand how we don't want to tell our boys, and I've been guilty of that too. Like, stop crying, toughen up, stop crying, because we used to the world we live in as seeing the person that's crying or the person that's sad or the person that's going through something as being weak. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to raise our children to be weak, but we don't want to raise them to be emotionally unstable as well. So we want to try to tell them. It's like a hard to balance, like tell them don't cry, but cry at the same time. Like it's the history is so long of it being frowned upon to be sad or to be depressed or to cry equates to being weak when it shouldn't be. But it's when you got to break so many bricks down to get to that, it's like you stuck between a rock and a hard place almost.
It's not just the young men, because personally I dealt with that myself. Even not showing emotions and stuff. I used to always be hell bent. I wouldn't cry. I hold it in. But then I remember one time I got to a point I was dealing with a lot, but I wasn't really letting it out. Like I damn near had a nervous breakdown one day, just like everything was on me and I couldn't stop crying.
Because it built up for so long.
It built up for so long and me having to be strong and I can handle this, and that shit hurt.
I had to
and it's not okay.
Yeah.
What you say? What?
A year ago, I was going through a lot. It was just too much. I think I broke down from my mama though. It was crazy.
Holding on to so much problem.
Hey, yeah, that, and I just keep a lot of shit in. Mm-hmm. And that shit. One day I was reading the mail and I just dropped it. And I was like, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I did this, and tears start running down, and I was like, "Man." She's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Nah, man."
No,
not.
And don't be like, "Yeah, I hate." I mean, not hate, but we tend to be like, "Yeah, I'm okay." No, you're not okay. Like,
I tend to do that a lot.
Oh man, out like, yo, okay. Yeah. I heard, and I was good for that. But when I went to my little therapist dude, he got some shit out. He got me start talking about my pops. Because, you know, when they talk to you, they want to know the origin of your family history, like how your mom and daddy and this and that. And I told him my daddy's like passed away. And he was like, "You want to talk about it?" I'm like, "No, not really. I mean, you can talk about it if you want to. If you don't, just write it down." I'm like, "Nah." But like the next visit, I end up talking about it. And I kind of open up a little bit more. But now I kind of guard myself. But to the point right now, I'm better about opening up things. I don't keep a lot of shit in. Yeah. But that 1 year when I broke down, though, I think that was the first. That was like, I need to go see somebody.
But listen though, when you broke down, did you feel comfortable with going to your friends or your family and talking to them, or was it still like you felt you as a man, you like, I don't want them to see me break down, or I don't want them to see me like this?
No, I think I talked to Mike. And I talked to, it was, I think, Mike, because I think he called me like an hour later at that, and I told him what happened. And he's like, "Man, you weak." I'm like,
but that's the thing.
That was my point exactly.
Let me cut in right quick, and I'm gonna let Kenny go back. But it's certain people that you surround yourself with that has the mentality as you as far as maturity. They're the only ones you could probably really open up to, because you can't open up to dudes who so used to certain other little shit like little kid shit. So for a person to call you weak for opening up, it's just that they can't understand where you're from on a maturity level. You know what I'm saying? Because most people like that take life really kind of as a joke, because, like, I won't say take it as a joke, but they haven't had none that serious happen to them, and they don't know how to be sometimes an adult. You know what I'm saying? They don't know sometimes they don't know how to be an adult. And sometimes you can't. I got, like, and I'm gonna be real with you, I got friends that I only can talk about sports with, or like talk about life with. And it ain't that many people I can talk about life with. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't mature enough. They ain't where I'm at or on a maturity and mindset level where I feel even comfortable with talking about some real shit because they ain't matured enough. And that's where, some people don't open up because everyone that you call your friend ain't mature enough to sit down and have a man talk with you. And I'm talking about from a male's perspective. Like, I know I can go talk to, like, my brothers or, like, Kenny and Weston about some real shit in life. But there's some guys that you ain't about to sit up and have a conversation with because they can't go back and forth and dialogue with you the way they can't. They vocabulary fucked up, too, so they can't even understand shit you throwing at them to even come back and talk to you about it. So, go ahead, Kenny. That's what I wanted to say.
Think about that.
Or they.
No, you was right on. That was the bigger point I was just making. As you said, it's our own people. Not saying that particular situation, but when we come to our friend or our brother or our, in confidence and on our vulnerability and express like, man, even just random, I'm saying it's a girl. Man, I'm sad. I'm really sad because of this girl. I'm crying, breaking down in tears, telling my friend, he's like, oh, you soft. Man, forget her. Forget that B, whatever the case is. But emotionally, whatever the reason is that I'm feeling this way, you can't just realize that and just be an ear. You go criticize that person. So now it's hard for, God forbid, I'd have had about 3 friends in the last 2 years commit suicide. Various different reasons, but it'd be those kind of reasons because you scared of how the other person or your own people go judge you or perceive how you are because you can't go talk to them. I wish a couple of my friends that committed suicide would have just called me or talked, or they probably tried to call somebody and talk, and they shunned them away or laughed at them or said you was soft. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of the times in our community, although finance is probably the number one reason for suicide, but just not having nobody to talk to be vulnerable around. In our community, that's huge. And then you like, forget it. You know what? It's too much. And now it's too late.
Or some of them laughing through their own trauma. Like Yvette just said, laughing has become a defense mechanism. So now you make a joke about everything because you're dealing with things yourself.
Exactly.
You laughing to keep from crying, but by the downside, you really damaging even yourself more. That shit rolled up out of you.
Exactly.
It's definitely it's something that you got to come into to learn that, like, because I don't think people intentionally just want to say like, oh, you soft hurt their friend. They haven't recognized their own stuff, so they to express it. I don't think that mean they want to harm you. They ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? They dealing with their own stuff that they hide behind laughs and, oh, you soft and this and this. Like, a man that knows how to express his emotion is the safest person I would want to be with. So.
And I want to say, this is a question really. So, and it got something to do with like mental health too, because I know like a lot of people who be in relationships and they'd be like really not like, why do we like some people will be in a relationship, right? So why do we always have in our mindset that we fuck with somebody that really let you know they don't give a fuck about you in so many different ways, but it's hard for you to let that person go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to ask people, like, is I'm wrong for not giving a fuck when a person want to talk about shit like that when it's like real issues out here? Like, say if you got a friend that's been going through the same shit with the person for 5 years and you know that person ain't good for you, but you want to keep constantly talking about the same shit, even though it's in your hands and you got the power to rid that person out of your life and heal yourself. Why do we always just keep pondering on the same shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, for shit that ain't good for you, why you still want to be around shit like that?
I think it's a couple reasons. One, familiarity. Depending on the age, you don't want to start over and learn a new person. I think stability sometimes, depending on what that person provides for you. And whether it's male or female, some women and some men are attracted to toxic. Like, if there's no riffle in a relationship, then it's not a good relationship to them. It gotta be something going on, unfortunately, for the relationship to work. Like, if everything peaches and cream and everything is good, Nah, that ain't good. Not for all, but for some, like, that's not good. I needed to be some. We got to fight or argue. There got to be something. And then, like I said, just familiarity. I know this person. I know what he gonna do to me. I'm attracted to being hurt. Some women and men
almost comfortable with it.
But the question I'm asking is it wrong for me to not want to hear that shit all the time if all you're gonna do is keep going back to that person?
No, because you protect yourself.
No, because you gotta
protect your energy. You gotta protect your energy.
That's what I was asking.
You gotta protect your energy.
Yeah, and then especially if the person, you know, like, okay, we make mistakes as we get older, but if you keep doing the same thing and you want this, well, she's learning and don't judge her, and you know, I'm gonna talk to you all the time. Yeah, I'm gonna be there for you, but again, that's at some point, like, you can't get mad at people looking at you crazy or they don't want to hear it no more. You keep doing the same thing for 20 years.
With that being said, people, protect your mental health at all times and at all costs.
Yeah,
that's what you got.
How many times you gonna give advice to that person over and over again, and they still doing the same thing? Eventually,
because then their issues become your issues.
Exactly.
That's what I'm.
I need a therapy for your issue.
Right.
Yeah. And like Billy said, that's the shit that need therapy because something wrong with you. You know, I'm not.
That's what you say as a friend. I value our friendship, but listen, if you want to, don't call me about this topic or this person. We still, everything is 100, but don't call me about Keisha no more.
You 5 years, I'll be telling you the same. We 5 years in the same shit I keep telling you.
Yeah, just don't call me about Keisha no more. You can call me about everything in the world, but if you about to call me about what you and Keisha going through again, don't call me about that. Call one of your other friends that's gonna listen to that, because I don't want to hear that no more. We still cool. I love you to death, but I just can't talk about Keisha with you.
Exactly.
It's draining. I ain't about to keep talking about the same thing over and over again. No.
And at this age, I can't. It's a lot of conversations I could be having that is positive and that means something. I can't keep having the same conversations. Like, you know what you got to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That shit is the ball is in your court.
But just talking about trauma again, as Tania was reading that definition, I was just thinking, you know, a lot of when I was saying Black people are born with trauma, automatically think about when we watch movies like Glory, 12 Years a Slave, Central Park 5. Automatically, after you watch those movies, you are infuriated, you frustrated, you mad. Although it wasn't you, it happened. It could have been something that happened years ago, but it's history, so you automatically are triggered by it. Automatic trauma for being Black. Regardless if you're rich or poor, you just watch Fruitvale Station or something, and automatically after you cut the movie off, you're furious. So you go, I think as a Black person, you go live, I think we have to accept that we're gonna have trauma all our life for one, but it's learning to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. But Kenny, on the other flip side of it, the same stuff that we hate, you know, we kind of like enjoy, like, and we kind of like praise, you know, shows like, you know, the Wire and Snowfall and stuff like that, Power, because, oh, that nigga had 30 bricks at one time in his life and stuff like that. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? So the shit that ain't good, that wasn't good for us, we love that shit. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like think about it. A lot of niggas want to be Avon Barksdale and Franklin Saint, but
because
keyword, a lot of niggas, not a lot of men. A lot of men don't want to be there.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of dudes our age and older that still think they can be Stringer Bell and shit like that, even though you look like Stringer Bell. But at the end of the day, they think they
you look like Marlo Stanfield.
Nah, like
what about he do?
No, John.
No, go ahead.
Nah, you laughing too much.
Auntie.
My bad.
But no, like,
that's what you saying though, last week. I understand what you're saying. We idolize, you know, the people that we see, you know, or the people that we saw or heard about.
Communities. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We like, you know, like the Supreme Team. Like, I was just watching the show. Remember the show American Gangster on BET? Like, for example, the Chambers Brothers. Like, you know, when you watch that, you be like, man, they really like contribute to like fucking up our community, even though the drugs was coming through the government, they was getting the bricks and stuff, but like that. But at the same time, you got niggas like, man, them niggas get money. Like, you know, like.
Yeah, I think we like to watch it because it's just a part of our culture. I don't think it's about idolizing it, but it's familiar, and we like, okay, you can relate to it on some way. It doesn't make me want to go sell rocks.
Right, but to go back, how do you relate to 12 Years a Slave, Fruitvale Station, Central Park 5, Glory, movies that show our history of us being marginalized, beaten, raped, tortured, punished, all of that? Every person, I'm sure every black person that watched that movie, after they go off, you're either in tears, you're either mad. So for all people who say I don't got trauma, that stuff don't affect me, that's called trauma. Automatic.
That's historical.
I mean, but that's our history, though. We gotta watch it to learn.
If I watch it and it becomes too much, you just have to learn how to turn stuff off. Like I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy because it was too emotionally taxing. So I just, you gotta.
Grey's Anatomy.
I know.
I never watched that.
That Central Park Boys, it was like the next episodes, it was just like one of them things. Like it was too much to take in. I watched it because everybody was talking about it, but it's not nothing I think I'll watch over and over again. Like Precious, it's too much for me. Like
I didn't watch that, and the reason why is because after I read a lot of the story of it, I'm like, man, I can't watch that because it's gonna mess with my mental health. Like over the years, I don't seen some movies that like really upset me, like Mississippi Burning, and they used to show a lot of slave movies back in the day. Even the movie Malcolm X makes me up because I'm like, damn, man, his homies conspired to kill him. Like dudes that's supposed to be your homies, but then they working with the ops.
He be the
and
one.
then they kill you. So like that mentality had me thinking in modern day of today's society of who to keep around you, to watch people and stuff like that. And that just messes with my mentality too.
But it's been like that. Sorry, well, even before Malcolm X. But like think back when we was a slave, and if you watch the movie Life, they had a black man counting the rocks to make sure no slaves was running. Hey, boss, he running. You mean to tell me we all slaves and that has been our mentality for a long while. How we got it, it's a matter of why we still doing it and saying, well, this is how they made us. So somebody can make you away and you stuck like that? Oh, okay.
My man who played in the Judas movie, he had to go to counseling for that.
Yeah, he said he had to go to counseling after Daniel Kaluuya, one look like Kenny. He had to go to other. Oh no, not Daniel Kaluuya.
Whatever his name is.
Stanfield.
Yeah, Stanfield. He had to go to therapy for that.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield, he had to go to therapy for that because he's got so deep into character. You know what I'm saying?
You can already tell that. I can look at him and tell like that would have been too much for him. You know what I'm saying? Some people you got to learn what you can handle. Like, yeah, I ain't taking that role. I don't care how much you paying me because I'm going to go crazy after this.
Lakeith did a good job though.
Did.
Like, because it shouldn't be hard to play that role when we've been playing that role all our lives though. If you really think about it.
But he probably ain't experienced no life like that. Like, we got to stop. He probably lived in California and was raised in Beverly Hills. That was a lot for him because he wasn't raised in what we saw. It's different pockets of us too. We think we all come from slavery, poor black.
We do all come from slavery.
We all come from slavery.
I mean, we all come from slavery. You know what I mean? I mean, like,
the thing is, Ebony, you just uppity Negro. That's the thing. You're a little highfalutin.
Now we got it. This the second person on the Black Convo.
Just saying.
Call me a Republican or uppity. See, that's that's a
y'all fair-skinned people. Y'all don't understand. You know,
that's a trauma thing, Kenny, because you have been made to believe anybody who wants better for themselves is uppity.
No, that's not true. That's not true. The thing that I believe is just because I have made it to a certain place or mentally or financially don't make the next person who hasn't have a problem to say you need to get over it or you need to go do better. They can't. It's a lot of reasons people can't do better, whether it's physically, psychologically, emotionally. So I don't say it's been 400 years.
No,
it's been slavery been over. You've been had the opportunity to do this. You've been had the opportunity to do that, so you should be doing better.
you are going to be creating part of the problem. You continue to give them that victim mentality. They're going to play a victim. Here's
not victim. Every person is different.
A lot of people don't even know I went to school. I don't boast that. Just because I have done better don't make me think I'm better than you. I'm better because I want better. If you okay sitting in a position that has not served you, don't look at me like I'm better because I continue to strive. That's a
no, because for one thing, mentally you got to be able to do better. If you were able to overcome some mental things, and I haven't been able to come some mental things, that make me not want better because whatever I'm dealing with, I haven't been able to handle it yet.
Yeah, it does make a problem if you feel like my strives make me think I'm better than you.
No, I'm not saying you specifically. I'm just saying in general.
Right. But
I'm saying once again, back to the same point I always say, everybody deals with it how they deal with it. Some people are able to get over it like this. Some people will take a lifetime. But I'm not gonna say the person that took a lifetime for should hurry up and get over it, or forget them, or it's their fault because they haven't got over it and got to a place where they can do better yet. Regardless how many choices out here.
How long are you going to be like, we're going to give you another 15 more years and you're tearing up your kids and your household and all your grandchildren and all the generations because I know you're not ready.
I'm not going to judge them.
When you start having children, that's when you need to get ready. You don't have a choice. I don't think it's about
judging. I think that's what we're talking about today, why you need a therapist and like you cannot stay stuck at the same place for 20, 30 years. Like that's just sickening to your own health.
Mm-hmm.
So if you still stuck, something is wrong.
How long should you stay stuck?
I don't think it's about being better or not better. That's up to that person. Like how long do you want to go through that is the question.
Yeah, because not to cut in I wanted to cut in right there. If you won't like what Tania is saying is like you have to make that effort to be better. And yeah, your mindset can be fucked up one way, but what you gonna do to get out of it? What you gonna do to make it better? Because it's all on you. We're not saying you shouldn't grieve over a person for a certain amount of years, but you should start working towards not getting over it, but getting through it.
Can't be right.
You'll never get over a family member dying, but you will get through it enough to where I can move on in life and feel comfortable with doing this again. But also, I'm gonna still remember this person and honor them in the best way that I can. Like people be so stuck. And me personally, like when you get to know a person or like when you like dating and stuff like that, and you heard some horror stories of what people have been through in life, and you ask them, have you ever tried to get counseling or something? And they be like, "What I need that for?" When a person says that, it ain't that everyone should go to a counselor, but who are you talking to try to get you through these things?
Right.
Can I cut in for right quick? Are we taking guests tonight or are we just kicking it? Because I thought tonight was gonna be like guest free and we just kick it.
We y'all want to do it's up to y'all. Y'all want to let somebody else?
I don't know who Sheikah Love.
Well, my rebuttal once again is
Kenny, I feel like you arguing two sides. I'm gonna just say that.
And so the thing, once again, as I always say, a lot of things I say are just in general, not maybe my specific views, but just two sides of the coin. Because what do you say? How long do it take the 13-year-old that got raped by her uncle? Now she got pregnant with twins, and how long do it take for her to heal? For her to be like, for her to not say "woe is me," or for her to say, "I was." Hold on.
We all understand that type of trauma.
Exactly. Hold on. What'd you just say, Tania? Hold on. Hold on. What'd you just say, Tania?
Nobody can tell you that. Nobody can tell you how long it's gonna take, but it is.
That's it.
We talking about shit like elevating in life where, man, the government this and the government that.
Right. I ain't talking about no. Yeah,
we ain't talking about that.
We talking about people in general.
Everybody but yourself, but not elevating.
It's about black mental health.
But that is
everybody's fault. We talk to people who say it's everybody's fault, but theirs. They're the people we talking about. Like, don't be down on. You know what I'm saying? That's what we talking about. We know
what we say to her.
Huh?
What'd you say to her?
As a kid, she's 13.
No. Say she's 39. Say she's 39, but she never went to college. She never was able to graduate. She never graduated high school. She just had to go and get a job early. She ain't had no mom there, so she had to go work at KFC, and that's what she's still working at. She still ain't healed from all that trauma that happened when she was 13. You tell her, oh, baby girl, you need to pick it up and get over it.
Yeah, no.
We talk about grown people who ain't taking accountability for the shit.
She grown now.
But I want to talk what Kenny talking about.
It's people who 30-some years old that's still in the same place as an 18-year-old, meaning they ain't trying to make life better for themselves.
Exactly. And then want to blame everybody else around them for elevating. Like that thing is like...
You can't blame everybody for elevating.
Here's the thing when you stuck in a space. Here's the thing when you stuck in a space and you don't want to pull yourself up from the bootstrap. You're going to look at everybody around you as they're judging you, as they think they're better than you, because that's your own response to how you feel about yourself.
But you are judging them.
No.
Because I said you need to go get some help.
You need to pick yourself up. There's no reason for you to still be in that same spot. You don't know why they're in that spot.
You playing too much of a devil's advocate.
Why you want to stay in the same spot, Kenny? Why would you want to?
Nobody want to stay in the same spot. I'm saying you don't know why they're in that same spot. You don't know why they 30 and is still going through whatever they're going through.
But that's not for us to know, though.
I don't see dudes do 10, 15 years. I don't see dudes do 10, 15 years in jail and get out and do better than most dudes that never been in jail a day of their life. So the excuses be like mind-boggling.
You can't let like I just said, you can't let your trauma define you.
You can't let your trauma define you, but another person's trauma is still defining because they haven't dealt with it yet.
But like Tania just said, you it's not a choice whether you get to heal or not. You trying to give them a pass. You gonna say, okay, I need more time until. How much of your life does it have to ruin? You trying to keep, you want to give the person this pass, like, listen, it ain't about judgment. It ain't about looking down. I'm not going to play into this thing as this woe is me because it has not served you. If your life isn't serving you and your children, that's when somebody need to pull you by your coattail and say, hey, you want to go get some help? You need to talk. You sitting around watching them demise is not helping them either. You rather me not say nothing and you hurt yourself or me say something and you heal. You don't want me to hurt your feelings, but it may help you.
That's called tough love. They need that.
It's accountability.
You need somebody to pull you up.
And it's accountability, and that's the sad part. If you out here with kids like that, that means you can't even
you gotta start healing
because you stuck in what you went through. How you got kids and you can't show them the way? That's where it comes to where we raising kids and fucked up situations because our minds ain't right to even raise them.
I mean, I get what he's saying, but
once again, two last things. One, everything I say is just subjective. These may not be my personal opinions or views. It's just subjective for a good dialogue. And for two, whoever that person is that we're saying, and we say we're not judging them, but we are if we saying, hey, you should get over this. You should go do this, go do that better for yourself. We don't know why they are in that place that they are. We don't know what happened to them, why they can't get over it.
Hold on.
That's what watch you demise. I'll watch you demise. What you're telling me is don't say nothing to them because they need time, even if it is ruined.
No.
The generation under them, I'm gonna shut up and watch you just hurt yourself.
It's not what I'm saying. No. But it's how we say it to them. We don't go say why you this or why you that. Let me help you. Let's do this. That's what y'all just said. That's what therapy is. A lot of therapy is just the person talking. A lot of people do therapy to themselves. Most of the time, therapy is just the person that's I'm listening. I'm not even saying a lot. It's just the person being able to say it all.
How to bring out certain situations out of something, and they know how to bring you back down before you leave that office out your feelings. That's the reason of therapy, for you to get there, talk about it, bring it all out, and be able to collect your emotions and go back in. You know what I'm saying? And don't leave there all depressed and stuff because you done brought up all this stuff. They know how to pull it back in. They don't just let you go.
The great Smokey the Bear said, only you could prevent forest fires.
Facts. Help yourself.
This once again proves my point that it's our people that's the most judgmental of our people.
You gotta stop saying that.
You never said you wasn't right. Don't mute yourself.
No, I don't think nobody judging though.
You gotta stop saying that.
He off that Parmesan. That's what's the problem.
Okay,
experiences be a crutch.
I don't know Parmesan, first of all. Second of all, I'm saying facts based on evidence-based research. This is not just something I'm just putting on my ass. This is what happens in our community. This is our reality.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, right? Okay, I'm gonna talk to sis and I'm gonna ask her. First of all, I'm gonna pray for her. I'm gonna ask her, does she want prayer? I'm gonna ask her, does she want help? And I'm going to point her in the right direction.
You know,
that's all I can do.
Sis gonna be like, listen, sis gonna be like, what's wrong with me? You think
that's denial?
Well,
hey, Marcus Harris,
I get my part.
Roll up to 7 gram therapy. Basically, he's saying basically roll up and smoke that therapy smoke that shit about you.
Oh, not get high.
Well, I don't smoke.
You talking about right?
Might help.
Listen, just from working in the Job Corps and seeing the neighborhood, we are too comfortable sitting around watching it because we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Again, it's about the delivery. But if you tell a person the same thing in a nice tone so many times, if it has ruined their life, my delivery is going to offend you anyway because you ain't recognize it as a problem. So anything I say is going to offend you. Anything I do is going to offend you.
To my ladies, I got a question. A man having multiple women at one time, is that mental health? Is that mental illness?
If he's over 30 years old, it is.
It's called gigolo, man. Come on.
I wouldn't go as deep as mental illness.
Yeah, but why do he feel like he need all these women?
Is he never satisfied? I mean,
right? It's something is going on there. I don't know if it's a
right. We can't touch it because you don't know the reason why he might want multiple.
Kareem said it's sex therapy.
Yes.
It's a
yes.
A lot of y'all sex ain't therapy. We're also quick to say yes. I'm just saying.
So if women have a multiple men, is that a mental health issue?
Yes.
Hold on. I won't go so quick to say yes on men or women. Sometimes men just want to have fun, or sometimes women just want to have fun.
You just want to go against the grain.
No, it's not. You can't say
it's called being subjective.
Let the comments be subjective. Can you give us your real thoughts?
That's my real thought.
No, Kenny, you gotta give us your real thought.
That's my real thought. Just because a man want to have multiple women or a man don't mean they have mental health issues. They just maybe want to have fun.
Listen, how many private parts can you stick at once? Why do you need so many different ones?
Right.
It's the reason.
Just hold on. Sometimes you like to eat chicken. Sometimes you like to eat fish. Sometimes you like a hamburger. Sometimes you like nachos.
Go to bed.
It's all beef.
What? You ask why?
It's all beef.
I got one more.
It's not all beef. Chicken is not beef.
We have somebody coming up.
No.
Is dating outside your race a mental issue?
No.
It can be. I don't think none of these are practically yes and no's.
Only way it's a mental issue is if you racist against like your own kind. Like I'm not dating a black dude and I don't even like them.
And just like Yvette said to my point, multiple partners can be a symptom sometimes.
You just said it's not.
No, I said yeah. Sometimes you might want chicken, sometimes you might want steak, sometimes you might want fish.
Man, you confusing, bro.
I just said sometimes people may date or have sex with multiple people and it not be a mental health issue. That's all I said.
Marcus Graham had no mental issue.
He did. You ain't never see his mama, did you?
Uh-oh.
Or his daddy.
Carol said, "Where's Wes at? Where's Wes?"
He had abandonment issue. Sound like
possibly.
I don't think it's concrete yes or no for neither one of them.
It depends on what you use. It depends on what you're using it for. If you're using it as a thing to fulfill your ego, absolutely, there's something wrong with it. If you're a person who just like to get down, maybe you have a sex issue, or why you can't just get one person and do it?
Yvette said interracial dating can be a symptom of mental defects. It's equal to self-hate.
What's Nia say?
I just said that.
You said that.
Well, speak up. I ain't hear you.
I mean, I guess it all just depends on what you're using it for. I mean, or why you feel this need, I guess.
Can it just be for fun?
What age, how old are you? Let me ask you, what age is sleeping with multiple people mental illness and not just having fun?
Kenny, don't answer that.
I'm not. I don't know.
Use your subjective opinion.
I sleep with honestly one person.
Yeah, be
so
subjective.
I mean, I don't.
Right, be subjective. You want to subject the whole.
This one used to be subjective.
If you going around sleeping with everybody and their mama, like something is wrong, something you feel like you need to fill some type of void, something missing, something lacking.
So Wilt Chamberlain slept with like 40,000.
But what if it's nothing wrong with him though?
He was sick.
I bet you his nanny got a hold of him or something. It's gonna be something.
His nanny.
You just ain't doing all that, and then he died from AIDS or something.
No,
he had a heart attack.
Stop putting that on Wilt Chamberlain. No, he ain't died from AIDS, man.
I retract. I retract.
Put AIDS on him like that.
Yeah, how you gonna say that?
Damn, you act like that's your homeboy.
That's my fellow black brother. You can't just be putting AIDS out here on us and say we died.
I asked the question. You gonna
never had AIDS?
I asked the question.
Did he have kids?
Shit, I would imagine I'd sleep with 100
Shit. I heard about you having kids tonight.
Hope he had a vasectomy or something.
Right.
So if we all need mental help, right? Should we stop, criticizing the opposite sex of what they should and what they should not be doing?
See, that's my thing. We take. See, here we go again. If we. Y'all hear him? Y'all hear that colorism? He hate me because I'm a lighter tone, honey.
No,
I love all black women. I love every single black woman, regardless of they tone. My partner lighter than you, so I love every black woman, regardless of their color.
I forgot what I was about to say. What you freaking do?
Criticizing each other.
Oh, if we have expectations, whether it be our partners, our family members, if we have expectations of somebody, that means that we trying to force them to do something, or like we just too darn sensitive. You can't tell nobody nothing no more. If I say, hey, I like this, or you're trying to control me, or you don't appreciate me, it's just people too sensitive.
No, y'all don't appreciate us. Y'all trying to control us.
No, because if a dude come with a dozen, if you like a dozen roses, but he come with a dozen of tulips, why would you be mad? He still brought you flowers, right?
I wouldn't be like, ew, get these tulips out of here. I wouldn't say that.
What you gonna say?
Thank you.
I like two. She'll be like, I like 2 dozens. You know what I'm saying? Like,
can't win.
They judging me up here all the time, all my life.
Woe is me. Come on.
I had to fight all my life. I had to fight.
The plight of the light-skinned woman.
You see, he did it again. I want y'all to count in the comments how many times.
I'm intentionally doing it.
Y'all flashes if y'all get the number right.
My daughter brighter than everybody on this page, so I'm talking shit.
Anyway, Yvette said a lot of men I know need multiple partners, usually lost their virginity extremely early, aka molested by a female predator. Very true.
That's true.
Very true.
That's not true, because what if like in your 20s you just like a lot of women? You know what I'm saying? It's just so many different types of black women that we like.
You want to sleep with them all?
Right.
I'm being subjective, by the way. But
no, you ain't. No, I'm just joking. Nigga speaking from experience. Talking about I'm being subjective because his wife right there.
Oh, Marcus said I probably like white roses. Just kidding. You see what you started, Kenny?
Who like white roses?
You right. I can see you with a white man though, but it's cool. I still love you the same, man. You still my beautiful black sister. I still love you and support you, but it is what it is.
When you educated and you can speak and you got a difference of opinion from other people, you must be playing for the other side.
Jones, would you date outside your race?
No. Okay. Unless it was George Clooney or like
So that's a yes.
Yes.
It's only
unless.
It was only 2 of them and I never get them. So
but you
no.
Yeah.
At least you know your worth.
But if a nigga look like George Clooney, like that,
Kenny, you got one more time.
You said it.
more than a dude like George Clooney, would you date?
No, not right now. It's Black
So
Lives.
so basically you would date a white man based on his stature and his money.
Get her, Liz.
Oh my God.
Get her, Liz. I told you. Hey,
They reaching like a mug on
the true colors gonna come out.
Y'all reaching.
The colors gonna come out. Let me go put my dashiki on, man. Hold on.
If a carbon
You
copy
got to put a
of George
dashiki
was in Walmart buying some tissue, you wouldn't date him.
She didn't say she couldn't date him because he was at Walmart.
No, but she would date a real George Clooney because of his stature and money, right?
That's how she said he looked like George Clooney. Am I right?
Yes,
Look like. Kareem said I want
he had money like George
You
Clooney.
do.
No, I don't.
You give me pantsuits vibes all day.
Yeah, what'd you say, Anthony?
Kareem said Ebony for the pants me like you said.
I'm back, baby.
This man.
I'm back. See, I ain't never gonna trade on mine. I don't care if they look like.
Let's ain't doing this.
I thought that was a Coogee for a minute.
Where's I know
You got a Coogee
You got
dashiki?
that at the beauty supply.
I got this from Ghana.
Oh,
You got
First
that
of
from
all,
the beauty supply. You got that from
I didn't. See, look, it be your own people. You can't even go to Ghana.
the beauty supply.
You know what I'm saying? Black History Month.
Wait, please. It's always your own kind.
I guess Liz want to change too into dashiki.
Oh Lord, what y'all done started?
What's the name of y'all tribe?
Right.
Go ahead and get in there, Wes.
Good one.
No, he ain't got no dashiki.
here we go.
Not Charlie Sheen.
I'm just
Yeah, you asked which about Charlie Sheen. Yeah.
What that mean?
Marcus, Charlie Sheen, you date him.
Hey, Candy.
Oh,
there we go.
What's y'all
They had this planned already or something.
Right.
Where's
They
the
was like, we gonna jump Jones and then we gonna put on dashiki.
Exactly.
I see you, my brother. I see you, my brother. I see you, my brother.
What's y'all tribe called?
Worry about all that. You weren't part of it.
Quest.
Jones a colonizer.
Said Quest.
Here we go. Here we go.
For real.
They talk all this junk about me, but when I tell y'all all my fight is for the black community, don't listen
We know
to them.
you do. We just messing with you. You want better for us. I know.
Thank
You want us
Liz.
to want
You is
better for
critical.
ourselves.
I can respect your being critical of us though. Like, cause a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't up to par. But you know why we don't say that about the women? Because we accept y'all for who y'all are most of the time.
And it's just not about the men being up to par. I said as a collective, us needs to be better. I'm not just
I understand. So I understand, Jones. You want us to want better for ourselves.
that's the only way.
And I agree with you. I agree 120, 30, 40%. But for that small group of people who are not at the place to know they want better or to get past whatever they still dealing with, I'm not gonna count them out though.
I never count them out, but it's up to us to speak to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just look at it and say, hey, they'll figure it out eventually. Like, we got to step in there. Like, Kenny, you do that through the schools. I work in human services. Tania comes to dark. Like, everybody else, it just can't be, I don't want to hurt their feelings. They're hurting themselves anyway. My words, whether if it hurts your feelings and it makes a difference, I'm okay with you not liking me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't head down the road, but listen, I can't watch it. I just can't sit by. Maybe when I get old and you know my teeth fall out and I don't talk as much, maybe.
Shit, that ain't gonna never happen. It's okay. It's okay for you to talk.
No, because I want all us to be to do better in life and stuff like that. Because shit, I ain't got everything ain't together with me. So it's like we all need to uplift each other. Right. And to the people out there, the reason like we kind of picked this topic tonight because it is Black History Month, but like we come on every Sunday, so we're gonna talk about Black issues all year, year round and stuff like that because we don't just limit ourselves to a month. Because I had a couple of people saying, "Well, why y'all ain't talking about this for Black History Month and stuff like that?" Like we always had our heroes and stuff about Black History Month, but they went through worse shit than us. So we are just imagine their mental health back then. Right. Martin Luther King with his kids and stuff in the house and him and Loretta. every night worried if some KKK people gonna walk up in the house and shoot them and stuff. I know that had to be like stressful. So like what we going through now is kind of like minor than what they all went through, but we still got to be better and do better for ourselves.
Right. And something we didn't kind of speak on. I mean, we talked about mental health as far as like, you know, what we've come through 300 years and up to now, but even with this pandemic, like we don't see a lot of light shined on how the Black community is struggling with this. Like it was already poverty stricken. Then you got the pandemic where, you know, you can't go sleep on so-and-so couch until you get, you know, have a room to go to. The shelters are limited. Like we just looking at that is killing us physically, but mentally it is definitely more hard for the underserved and the kids too. It's like the Job Corps kids, like
shit, kids, period. They can't even go to school. They trying to learn remotely, and some of these kids they stay in their houses where they ain't got no heat, water. Like I said, they depended on schools to get those meals every day and stuff like that. And they just like that's the add on top of what they always been going through. So, you know, why we can't keep looking for people to like save us and stuff. We gotta save each other. And guys like Kenny who actually work for the school system, who go to these kids' house every day and try to make sure that they tablets and computers and stuff work, because they got parents who really don't give a damn if they get an education or not, because they so focused on doing what they got going on.
Yeah, to that point, Les, that you said, to that point that you said, you got a group of parents who don't care, but you got another group of parents that's focused on keeping the lights on, keeping the gas on, keeping food in the house. So I ain't got time to try to figure out how to make sure my kid logged on. And just a shameless plug, I was part of a Washington Post article that posted a few days ago. Go check it out on my page. But we went to, like he was saying, we went to the children's houses, and a lot of them, some of them don't got power, some of them don't got food. So we can't frown on the parents automatically. We got to see what the issue is, because like Les said, some of them don't care, but some of them just got so much other stuff going on that, you know, I got to make sure they're fed, they bathe, they got heat, they got water. We'll figure this school out when we figure it out. They're going to be behind the learning curve when everything's pick back up. But we still want to try to provide some support and the community that we're supposed to be there for each other.
Right. Take advantage of the support. Like, you know, if you got the resources, I understand things are hard, but as long as you exhausting all your options as far as a parent, I know you overworked and I know you tired, but you know, this is what you signed up for. Like, that's the accountability part. Like, I know you got to focus on keeping the lights on, but you got to focus on your kid getting through school too. Like, this is, you know, we got to look when we have, and this is another thing, when we start having children, if you know at one, you don't have the support and the family and the means to do certain things. I understand things happen, but sis, you can't be 7 kids in and you want this pity part. Like, we have to be more responsible for our own outcomes. You don't get to say, well, I'm like this because of this. You have to, this is your life you're living, and how long are you going to let it be interrupted by the things you didn't have? It just be my issue. You can't keep doing these things.
I agree, because you got to put that kid first. And even like we're parents, and you know, we go to work to pay the bills, but at the same time, while you're going to work and paying the bills, you need to make sure your kid is able to log into school, or if you can't be there to do it, help them, at least let them find them somewhere to go where they can get the help they need. Like, don't just leave them behind.
And Yvette said we got to get back to being a village, because when we was kids, that's all they talked about, being a village, because I was part of a village. Like, our neighbors, you know, when my mom, you know, had to work and stuff like that, after school, we'd go to the neighbor house, and the neighbors looked out for the kids. These days, these neighbors ain't looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sad. It's just sad what we have become. And I feel like, and people go hate what I got to say, but I feel like we at a worse place than where we were 40 years ago when that crack epidemic hit our community, because it actually has gotten worse. You know what I'm saying? There was a point in life where we had the civil rights movement where we was all together and stuff like that. But now we just like, yeah, we always gonna have the white, you know, the white people in the government and stuff against us. But now we had each other's throats more than ever. You know what I'm saying? It's like a real, like, and that's the thing, self-hate is the real mental issue. There's a lot of black people that hate black people. You know what I'm saying? They hate what they got going on in life. They hate what they got, what their kids got, or the house, or the cars they got, stuff like that. And a lot of us is like just hateful out of spite. Well, he can't have more than me, or he think he better than me and stuff like that. People just want to live. And,
that's it.
And some people are afraid to go out and get their own shit because they don't love themselves enough to go get the shit on their own. They want to live off other people and take from others that look like them.
And I mean, let other people be an inspiration to you. Like, we got to get out of that. Like you just said, this, you better in this, and this. Let your group of people be an inspiration to you. Like, I want to have 50,000 in my savings. That's the person who got 10 right now. They my inspiration. You know what I'm saying? You just got to have that collective group of people. Don't look at somebody like you less than. You got to feed off of people. I know who I am today is just not by me just being born this perfect person. No, I'm not perfect. I watched other people and I'm like, I took pieces. Like, I want to do this. I want to do this. Like, you got to pull from people. Stop looking at them as a threat and look at how you can pour from them.
Not even that. And I'm going to take it a little bit further. Some people will get mad, but it be sometimes like you got friends that want to be in competition with you so bad. And that be the crazy part about it. Like, you got your intentions is to just be there and we all do good together. But you got some, oh, I want to have this before this person. I want to have that. And then it'd be the ones close to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's to be the fucked up part about a lot of this stuff out here is it'd be the ones that you really have to watch. It'd be the ones close to you. You don't be nobody coming from afar. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we just got to be better as a whole, as black people. Because we can sit up here and say, well, white people do this or all that. I don't care about all that.
Me either.
Because that ain't our issue.
That's all I've been saying for a long time. When people be like, "Well, this white person do this, or this community had it better."
They can afford
that
to
don't help us none.
We can't afford to do shit. We can't afford to be behind. We can't take no days off. That's just being in America, being black in America. We got to be on our shit at all times.
And go twice as hard.
And work twice as hard. And it's just the way it is. Like, and I hate to say that, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Put your big britches on, get you some therapy, and let's do this thing. Like,
that's all you gotta do. Work your way through this shit. And to everybody who going through something, like, talk to the ones who you really know that will sit up there and listen and be more mature enough to handle what you're talking about.
Right.
And that they honest with you too. Like, like we tend to gravitate when we don't want to do better. We tend to gravitate towards people who make us feel okay with what we're doing.
Yeah, they pacify me.
Yeah, you pacifying. Like, we got to get out of that. No, I'm not here to hurt nobody's feelings. I don't think I'm better. Sis, I want you to want better because I want better for you too. Like, stop looking at it as somebody looking down. Like, just feed off of people, man. Take what you can and just go on down the road.
Stop looking at elevation in life as competition. We all got to elevate. We all should be helping each other. Like, some people do it out of spite. Like, I know people who sell like $20 t-shirts, but your own homie will go buy a Ralph Lauren for $40 just because they don't want to see you elevate in life. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 t-shirts he could have brought for you, but he wouldn't have brought a Ralph Lauren polo because it say Ralph on the front. You know what I'm saying? We just got to be better than that. We just got to be better because your homie who's selling that $20 t-shirt, he's a designer too. That's what he inspired to be and stuff like that. So it's like, man, we just gotta work together and collaborate and elevate.
Support.
Right. So Kareem said going back to the schools, Kareem said some parents don't know how to work the computer. Like, working in schools, like if you get with somebody in a school, like just like a really dope into the kids type of counselor, they'll give you resources for whatever you need. Like, you don't know how to work the computer, sis, they'll put you in a program to teach you how to work computers and to work around your schedule. You just gotta, you know what I'm saying? You can't wait for stuff to come sit on your lap. You don't know how to work the computer? Let me figure out if this school got some type of training for me to learn how to work this computer for me and my kids. You have to be proactive. They're not going to give us nothing. Right.
But Kenny said that's what they do. They go house to house helping these kids and families who don't know how to work the computer. You know what I'm saying? So, like, people got to start making excuses. You got to ask for help It ain't that.
We don't have no time for excuses. We need therapy, accountability, and to get it going. We don't have no time for no more excuses, y'all. Like, yeah, we Black, we know that. We were slaves, and I ain't saying take none away from that. But what's up next is be my thing. Because if they ain't gonna help us, what we gonna do?
Right.
True.
So, yeah, y'all. I think we gonna get it together.
Yeah, we ain't got no choice. Shit.
Right.
We ain't got no choice but to get it together. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it has to do with, like, if we got to stop partying more and being more serious more, we can't laugh at everything. Can't be a meme. Like, everything serious can't be a meme. We can't keep laughing at our own misery.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We can't keep just doing the same shit over and over every day, because you got to want to help yourself before others can help you.
Right.
That's, you know, that whole respect thing. Like, they got to respect us. They, like you said, we born behind the curve anyway. They think we less than. We got to listen. Look,
we already hundreds of years behind. So, like, we got a lot of ground to make up. And we ain't saying, and you know, we might not make it up in our lifetime, but we want to prepare the ones that's coming after us to not just think everything is about shit, drugs, money, hoes, and shit like that. You got to be able to be educate yourselves and, you know, be ready to really live a life where, you know, you kind of the haunted. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, once we start dealing with our mental, everything else will fall into place.
Agreed.
And then, like, we got to get out of that thing. Like, yeah, we Black, but, you know, like, for the most part, life has been pretty rough, but life is pretty good. Like, and you got to make out of it what you want to. You can have that life, even if you behind the curve, like, whatever your little piece of life is, like, you just got to believe that you deserve it first.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get in your head that you deserve this.
Yeah, because don't think that because a person got all this money and stuff, that's the key to happiness. Nah, your happiness is what you make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
More rich people commit suicide than poor people.
Yeah, because they, like, I don't need.
Yeah, it's true.
Know, it'd be nice to have a mansion, but I don't need that to be happy in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the small. This the small things for me.
I'ma just give y'all a free nugget. When you change your mindset, you change your life. Like, when you stop being so negative all the time and start thinking positive, and, you know, start saying positive things, you tend to bring those positive things into you, and it creates your world. It really changes your world.
What you put out there.
Mm-hmm.
You put negative out, you're gonna get negative. You speak positive, you put positivity out, you're gonna get positive in return.
But surround yourself with positivity, though. At a certain age, man, we got to stop being, well, I've been knowing this person since we was a kid, but they toxic. Like, nah, like if they ain't bringing no value or no positivity to your life, man, sometimes you, like my wife always used to tell me, you don't cut them off, you cut them down. Meaning, you don't want to cut a person completely off, but you can turn their volume down on their ass, though.
That's true. That's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Charles and Mrs. Allen for that.
Yeah.
Right. It's about protecting your peace. And then once you get to a certain spot in life where, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got to be rich, you just happy. That person can be dangerous for your livelihood. You know what I'm saying? We ain't moving the same way. We don't have the same thing. Like, it ain't nothing every person you around, you should be able to take something from. Every relationship. You should get something from it. It's an exchange. If I can't pull nothing from you, this is when you cut them down. Like, it ain't that whole better thing. It's just we have no use for each other anymore.
And you protecting your mental. That's all you really pretty much doing. Like, look, I can't do this shit no more. You doing the same shit that we did at 18 and I'm 37 years old. Like, that can't happen. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, in order for us to be better, we got to do better, surround with better. And because we don't think we better, we just want to be better mentally. Because once you're better mentally, everything else will fall in place.
Mm-hmm.
Amen to that. We got any, what are comments talking about? Let's see.
I just flooded the comments with free mental health services in Detroit, Michigan, and resources, parenting classes, all that good stuff that we need.
Right.
That's what's up.
Heck yeah.
Summer jobs coming for the kids.
Oh, I can put that one in there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my son worked it last year.
And to all the Black people that it's a coronavirus pandemic, but we don't been through so many pandemics. We can survive this one too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right about that.
Like, the people who can't survive are the ones that don't look like us because they ain't never been through shit like we've been through shit.
We used to struggle.
We've been through, we used to being in the epidemic. We went through slavery, the drug epidemic, jobs lost, recessions and stuff like that. So, we get through the coronavirus and stuff like that. We don't lost some people, but like Black people has always been so strong that we get through anything. And if you can get through any of this shit, you can get through your own personal issues and, excel and, just be better.
If you made it through life thus far, you doing good. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't got to our age, 18 coming from where we coming from, like, you can do anything if you get to this point. Like, you just got to keep on going and keep trying to do better. Like, you don't get no excuse. Like, you get to take a break, you get to cry, you get to pray, you get that time for yourself. But then you got to keep on going, especially if you had kids. That's what bothered me. If you don't want to do no work for yourself, don't bring nobody behind you to go through that mess with you. Stay a single person then. Don't bring kids in here. That's not fair. I don't give you no pass when you ruining your kids' life and the generations after it. It's selfish to me.
Because you bringing them in this world and kind of teaching them the wrong way, because you ain't teaching them to prevent the mistakes you made. You teaching them how you was taught because you don't know how to excel through life yourself. And that's what we got to stop doing, raising kids the wrong way to where it ain't helping them. You know what I'm saying?
You're supposed to always raise your kids to be better than you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I know people who be like, Les, you ain't got no kids, but shit, I know how it was to be raised, by a woman and,
right.
Push you to be better than what she was. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got people who raising kids and they can't teach them because they so stuck on what their parents did to them, so they teaching them the wrong shit their parents did to them. So that's the generational mental health shit.
Yeah.
Generational curse.
Yep. And like we ain't saying it's easy, and like was Kenny saying, it takes people a while. I understand that, but at some point, especially if you are age, and I ain't saying you got to wake up tomorrow and be perfect, but you just got to start doing some work towards it. It ain't nothing that happens overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody struggle with something, but you gotta do something different. Cut that nigga off. That's been, go
for real.
Yeah.
I mean, cut that friend off. Stop talking to that mama for a minute who's stressing you out. Stop anything. Just start something each day.
Stop expecting man shit from niggas, or expecting women shit from little girls and stuff like that. Like, that's what really be hurting a lot of people too, because you feel like you owe that person to be with them. You don't owe them nothing because they ain't helping you, with your mindset. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stop thinking it's okay to be impoverished and
right.
Thinking all of us got to stand on a corner or the police, harassing us. We gotta stop thinking that shit normal. That shit ain't normal.
Right.
I'm gonna say my last piece before we get out of here in a little bit is I think we need to, and this is everybody, because we all, as we should all agree, all Black people experience trauma, are victims of trauma. Identify what is the trauma. Besides history, because we all know we're born with a history of trauma, so we automatically born into trauma. But in our own specific lives, identify what things we went through that was traumatic and may have an effect on how we live our lives today, and start addressing those things. And if you're comfortable with seeking therapy, seek it. If not, like Tania said, prayer, self-reflection, whatever avenues you feel you need is best to address those specific traumatic issues in yourself. Just address it, but you got to identify first, because a lot of people deal with trauma that they don't even know they're dealing with. It could be something that happened 30 years ago that you never addressed, and it's reflecting now in your life. It's the reason why you can't find a good man or a good woman, or you can't keep a stable relationship, or you can't keep a good job, or you can't get to the next level, because of that one little thing that you never addressed in the past. So just take some time, self-reflection, think over your life and say, you know what? It was probably that one time where this and that happened that I never really dealt with. So take some self-reflection, look over your life, and, you know, try to address some of those traumatic issues that you may have dealt with. That's my piece.
I guess we can do it because we 7 minutes out, so we can go to Tania, Dawson, Liz. Final words, Wes.
I just want to say, you know, we got to get back to being a village, and we also got to just be better for ourselves. Like, get your mind right for yourselves, because you can't help nobody if you can't help yourself. And like when I was real serious about, you know, Smokey Bear said only you can prevent forest fires, because everybody don't have a fire in their life, but you got to stop the spread.
That's the whole twist. Oh yeah,
You got to stop the spread. So like at the end of the day, we have to just be better and contain, you know, the shit that goes on in our life, and just you know, love one each other and help each other be better.
I think we're gonna let Tania close it out because she's the life coach. We're gonna let you end it, Tania. So no pressure. Wes, Dawson, just final.
Like, I'm gonna piggyback on what y'all said. It's okay we gotta learn to speak up and understand that it's okay to open up and talk about our issues. That's the first step to getting help. And like you said, we gotta just like uplift each other and be there for each other.
Peace and love. Take care of yourself, and that's it.
Yeah, for me, as somebody who struggled with anxiety, I think it might have been a little depression. Like last year was really rough for me. But once I started to recognize it as something I dealt with, and once I started to feed things into myself and surrender to a lot, when I tell you life opened up, so just be patient with yourself, man. Things do get better.
Yeah.
I just want to say with every trauma, every situation, there's always a root cause. You have to get to the root of the issue, meaning you have to ask yourself, you know, we learned this in elementary, the who, what, why, where, how. You know, who caused this? How did this happen? How did I get here? You have to ask yourself those questions and write the answers down so you can begin to work on those different issues within yourself. I'm going to say that a lot because I'm an author. Writing is healing. Writing heals. So after you ask yourself those questions, you have to write them down, and then you go back and reflect. And some people don't pray. I do pray. I will ask God to help me, you know, get to where I can be okay again. Like, you have to find a way to get better. So when you do the self-work, which if you sit down and really sit down, take some time out, ask yourself those questions, actually write it down and begin to reflect upon what it is exactly that you're going through, because that's how you pinpoint it. You have to find out what exactly it is you're facing and how to deal with it. That way, if you do decide to get a therapist, you already know what your issues are. If you don't decide to get a therapist, I suggest this is how you start your inner healing, by asking yourself those questions about writing. And that way you can keep a journal of your feelings and get everything out and begin to self-heal. You have to heal yourself in order to, you know, even sustain. You have to heal yourself or get the help that you need necessary, you know, to go on with life. Because like everyone was saying, how can you be a better person or a better mother if you don't actually go back and look in your life and see what happens to actually heal yourself? So sometimes we try to close everything out and shut it down. What you're doing is suppressing your feelings, which is causing a lot of stress, which also causes different diseases to attach itself to you because you're holding everything in. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Just write it down, get some help.
Tania, before we get off, plug your book.
I was trying to put her site on here.
Oh, if you I have books on self-healing. If you go to destinedwithapurpose.com, or even if you just type my name in Amazon, you'll be able to find my books. I write, I have a devotional. It's a self-love devotional. It teaches you, it gives you words of affirmations on how to love, even love yourself and love others. You do the affirmations, there's prayer, there's scriptures in it, and there's journaling. So yeah, all my stuff is at www.destinedwithapurpose.com.
Hey, Tania, can you send me a copy?
I can.
No, you can buy one.
Ain't no free lunch. No.
Charles, man, sending free copies though. Dang.
You said a free copy.
Right. You said destinedwithapurpose.com.
Like, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to put it
Okay.
in here.
My email address is go ahead.
Go ahead, Wes.
No, go ahead. I do after
Today,
the
how much is your book? People ask.
That book is $15.
She gonna put the website in the
I'm about to pin it.
Pin it. Anything else before we close out? Wes, what you was about to say?
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
He about to go shave his head.
I want you to go take that Lee Beauty Supply dashiki, y'all. Anyway.
Look, I'm gonna plug. I got mine from Dashiki Pride. You can catch them on Instagram at Dashiki Pride.
I got mine from Ghana.
Les, you need to go get us a promo code. So that's marketing. You got to keep that to yourself.
You need to go get a blanket to wipe your forehead.
Who?
Who
got a forehead that is a blanket?
He mad because our skin ain't dry. Anyway, this has been another one, y'all. It's been a really good topic. I hope that through this conversation, while we're having fun, there's also some healing in this. We are definitely here to have a good time. This is therapeutic for us talking to y'all. But hopefully through all of this, you know what I'm saying, it's helping. That's what we're here for. We got to talk it out. We'll get better one day at a time, y'all. Every Sunday at 6 o'clock. Be on the lookout for our YouTube channel, and we're gonna have merch, y'all. So just keep following us, share with your friends, and we'll see y'all next Sunday.
Good job, George. You was definitely ahead of yourself on this one.
Oh, wait, y'all. Put a disclaimer out. We are not therapists. These are our thoughts.
Oh no.
All right, this is.
Bye, y'all.
Beauty Supply.